What up, YouTube? You can't stop trading and investing with your boy James E. Monday. I love Mondays. I remember a time when I used to look forward to the weekends, but I can't make money on the weekends in the stock market, man. So now I look forward to Mondays. Today I want to go over three stocks over the weekend plays. Three stocks that I bought on Friday at the close to sell them into today. I want to talk about my three positions. Winded up going red overall on all three, but I want to get into all that. But before I do, man, please click that like button. Please subscribe. It is very much appreciated. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that likes to research and analyze anything I find interesting in the stock market, and I like to share that with anybody willing to listen. So that being said, let's just get right into it. All right. Let's start with SAMP. I want to start with SAMP first. So let's just switch some things around a little bit. Boom, boom. So I noticed at the market close, we were having this nice push again. Same shit I always do. All right. We've talked about it in previous videos. If you haven't watched them, please go and do so. We're seeing all this red, and then we have, boom, a huge perk in volume. Okay. This huge perk in volume right here. And then we have this great green day. So I was anticipating a gap up. Not only did it gap up, but it dropped and had a nice run. But anyways, I was able to close off today and close this position 165 profit. Overall, winded up with $75 profit because I purchased it overnight from Friday. Oh, sorry, my mouse got stuck for a second. Let's get into here. I had purchased it Friday and bought it into this pop right here at 10.7, and then it winded up dropping just a little bit. So it winded up closing me down about $90 at the end of Friday, and then winded up getting 165 back today. So roughly about a $75 profit. So like a break even. Because as you guys know, part of my strategy is just to exit these things immediately. As you can see, it did tank down to here before it had it squeezed. And I'm starting to notice that as well, that these things are starting to have a nice bounce. And a bounce play is possible for me. It is very much in play for me. I'm going to have to look into that. But yeah, man, so I bought it. Just noticing the strength on this candle right here. You see this heavy volume, the blue. This heavy volume comes in, and we have a big green day, so it's having a nice bounce. So I was anticipating a gap up, which it did. Just my execution towards the end of day wasn't all that great. I could have realistically got in down here, but I don't really like playing sub-penny stocks. So when it was trading in here, it was under a penny. So I waited till it broke, and then it just had a monster push. And again, like I said, I was trading three stocks. So SAMP was one of those stocks. So, a little, just kind of rushed the execution on it. So basically broke even. When overall winded up with the $75 profit on here. Basically doing the same shit, guys. Perk and volume, expecting a gap up. All this red, first green day after all the red, a perk and volume, and it gapped up, which is what it did, and got a little profit from it. And, then it ran. And so that's something you might want to look out for too. You could also do that. That's also something else I'm going to be looking at from now on, is when I see those first red days or the first green day pop, wait for it to open, wait for the drop, and then the pop. So that's one. The second one I want to talk about is MDMP. If you haven't watched my previous videos, please go and do so. I capitalized on this beautifully on Friday from the overnight play from Thursday to Friday. And then kind of anticipated a gap up again today. Didn't really know what it was going to do. And this one did wind up gapping up. So it was nice. But again, if you can look at my share size right here, 4,800 shares, I really wanted to buy 15,000 shares. And I tried to buy it and when it dipped here, because I was in the 58 area, or actually when it dipped here. And when I tried to buy the dip, but it just blew past when I hit buy the ask. I should have actually hit buy the market. The more that I think about it now, I should have just hit buy the market. So it only executed 4,800 shares in the last minute before the close. So didn't even get the size I wanted. Otherwise, this would have realistically been a three times. So this would have been about a close to a $300 profit. Not to mention before the close on Friday, I was up $20. So that would have been, if I would have got executed the size I wanted of 15,000 shares, that would have been $60 at the close plus 96 times 3. Oops. Yeah, so I would have rounded up with, a little over 300, roughly around like 330, 340, which would have been nice. But again, man, my execution, it just blew past it. It was getting squeezed in the end. And when I seen it printing up here in the 66s, I thought we could have a nice gap up, but it just wound up gapping up just a little bit. Gapped up in the 61. So I just sold it immediately and took a $96 profit. So if you add the $20, about $116 profit. So, if you total it out between SAMP and MDMP, those I was overall green on a combined of about $191, so close to $200 combined between those two. And again, this play was still brand new to me, so I wasn't really sure what it was going to do. So I just sized down. So obviously, if you guys watch me, every time I'm making a good percentage, anytime something looks really good, I go all in. That's what I do. I go all in. I'll put in, 30, anywhere between 25 to 35,000 per position. But this one overall was a very small position. This was about a $2,500 position. My SAMP position was about a $3,000 position. So very small, because with these particular plays, they kind of already were just kind of done. Well, actually this one particularly, it's still in the works. I just didn't know what it would do after a red day like this because it is brand new. So I didn't want to go all in. I did try to take a 15,000 share position, which is still a smaller position for me, which would have been roughly for about a $8,000 position. So that's still fairly small compared to what I really like trading. But yeah, man, so, just sold it immediately. So this one overall made 116. Overall on SAMP made about $75. But this one is the one that wound up biting me in the ass. LTNC. We've talked about LTNC in the past, and I've made some good money on it. But the thing with LTNC was very similar. There's just no volume this morning. Everything was gapping up this morning, okay? So when I seen it, it looked like when I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, when it was getting close to the market open, all three of my positions were gapping up. This one was gapped up. It had me at about $144 profit. So overall, I was thinking I was going to, wind up this morning with about, $300, roughly about almost $300 to $400 of profit to start my week. But this just did not sell at all. It didn't necessarily gap up. It just stayed flat. And then it had a little perk, tried to sell it, 300,000 shares, just didn't work. And if we go here, bink, bink in the 1 minute, you see 7.3 million shares right here, but we're talking in seconds. I'm trying to execute this thing in seconds, and it just didn't work out. And then it just wound up tanking and tanking and tanking and did not execute. I had to sell the market order in there, and nothing was selling. It was just chipping away 300,000 shares. Like it would sell like 10,000, 12,000, and then boom, drop down, then sold 20,000, 10,000, 20,000, boom, drop. Oh man, it was so horrible watching that thing. But LTNC, before the close of Friday, it actually had a nice little perk because I had bought it in this area, and then it had a nice little perk. So it put me up about $250 profit. So overall on LTNC, the overnight from Friday to today, I winded up losing about a little over $400 total on LTNC. And again, this was my biggest position size overnight, which was roughly about like a $7,500 position. And again, man, like I said, when nothing's 100%, like if all my variables don't line up, like it was looking good, but you just don't know, especially going overnight, especially this is already getting choppy. It's kind of played out a little bit. Volume's starting to die off. It's not one of those heavy volume hitters. So, I just played it safe. 300,000 shares was a small position for me. So overall, I winded up losing on this position a little over $400. So overall, that position was about, about a -3%, maybe a little over -3%. But total, all three combined, LTNC, SAMP, and MDMP. Overall, from Friday to today, my overnight, I winded up with a little less, or a little over $200 loss. Combined all three of them together. And that's why I separated them out, because none of these, not a single one, LTNC, MDMP, or SAMP, showed me that, okay, I need to go all in on this particular ticker. None of them showed me that. So they were all showing signs of first green days and potential gap ups, but nothing that was full on, I believe this thing is going to pop and give me my 10% or more that I look for. So, that's why I separated all three of them. That's why I put a little bit in LTNC, a little bit in SAMP, and a little bit in MDMP, which is a smart thing to do because you don't know. And overall, it wound up being the best decision for me because LTNC just wound up taking a huge loss. And luckily, and it was crazy because LTNC looked the most promising yesterday, on Friday. Because if you look at this, boom, boom, this looked the most promising, which is why I bought into it. It just looked like I could break that 275 and maybe we'd have a run up to the 2.8s, maybe the 3. That's what it looked like to me. But again, I just didn't know. And, so I winded up just going a smaller position than usual. And then same thing with SAMP and same thing with MDMP. I just didn't know. I didn't have that full confidence to go full position in any one. All three of them looked like they had potential, but none of them looked like, okay, this is going to be the one. So, I winded up separating all three. And so I winded up with a minus $227 profit. And if we do the math, I had roughly about, a $227 loss. And overall, my total position was roughly almost 14,000. So overall, I lost less than 2%, on my net. So minus 1.6%. I'm cool with that. For me to take that risk. Two of them did go green, but just barely. And then this one, it did gap up slightly, but just not enough not enough buyers in the morning on the bid and ask to execute my order. So it just wound up tanking and selling me in this drop. And it is what it is, man. So, overall, this one, 400 loss. The other two, just, $75 win and a $116 win. So again, like I said, a little over $200 loss to start off my week. And that's okay. So, that's exactly the game I play. If it doesn't look 100%, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And when you're not having all your variables line up, but it looks like it has potential, just size down, man. So not a single one of these three looked like it was going to do exactly what I didn't have all the confidence in all three of them, which is why I just went in a small position in all three of them. And overall just wound up losing a less than 2% loss. So it is what it is. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my analysis. If you made it this far, please click that like button. Please subscribe. You can't stop Mafia is a mindset movement, meaning never stop yourself, never stop your progress, never stop your education, especially in finance. Having multiple streams of income is an amazing thing, and the stock market is a place where you can do that. So LTNC, not enough volume and not enough buyers this morning. So took the big loss on that one. Well, about a little over 3% loss on my position size. SAMP winded up taking a $75 gain overall from Friday to Monday. Just didn't do what I wanted to, but it is what it is. And then MDMP took a $116 gain from Friday to Monday. So overall, a little over $200 loss. So it is what it is. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I'll be sure to keep you updated as much as possible. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.